Okay. So what a lovely group of people. Sally, you are speaking first. And Akshay, you're her evaluator. Do you have her evaluation form?
Yes, Linda, I have.
All right, perfect. So Sally, are you ready? Oh, and okay, I will play timer. Sally, give me half a second. So you will get a green card, otherwise known as a folder, a yellow folder, and a red folder. Can you see all those, Sally?
My computer is not, okay, maybe I got it back now. Oh, Jesus. Can I? All right, I'll work it as it is.
Can you see that though, if I hold it up?
I didn't understand you.
Oh, good. At 5 minutes, I'm going to hold up the green folder. Can you see it?
Yes.
6 minutes, the yellow. 7 minutes, the red. Okay. Are
Yes.
you ready?
As ready as I can be.
Good. Begin.
Are you going to announce me?
Oh, sorry. Sally Reyes, pink, Sally Reyes.
Racing across the grassy hillsides, my knees grip my horse bareback and my hands grip the mane. Our sun-bleached hair and mane blend in one unified motion. My sure-footed Morgan Palomino Misty and my trusty terrier Rusty are my constant companions. We slow down through orchards, munching on apples, pears, and walnuts. Rusty noodles through a furrowed ground, occasionally catching a furry critter. Back to the barn. I jump off Misty and feed her in the corral, lock the gate, and snake! Rusty laid down a dead snake next to me, saving us from harm. I give him a loving pat, and we set off for the sunset and dinner. Mom is standing at the back door, holding a big white box. That's funny. She usually is in the kitchen cooking. We have been invited to a Christmas tea party and ballet recital, and you can wear this. I find this filmy pink dress. Oh my goodness, pink. It's Pepto-Bismol pink. This dress came from my cousin who wore it a decade ago. It looks like a pinup costume for Shirley Temple. Oh, I was speechless. My humiliation was unending, and disrespect would lead to spanking. Mom said, "Put this in your room, dear. The party is Saturday." I threw that box as far into the closet as possible, hoping it would fall down Alice's magical rabbit hole. Saturday came quickly, and Mom dropped that pink dress over my head, tied that fluffy bow over my behind, scuffed saddle shoes completed my ensemble. I looked like a pink sausage. We arrived at the party in silence. The house was intimidatingly grand. Every room had a Christmas tree, small, even in the bathroom, medium, and one 2 stories high. We were late and we had tea and cookies and were ushered into a performance room. There were already a packed audience. The only remaining audience seats were 2 in the front row. I do not remember the performance because all I could feel was the eyes of the audience looking at the neon pink sausage in the front row. I felt humiliated and trapped. I could handle a 1,000-pound horse, a dead snake, but standing in an elegant room in an absurd, ill-fitting, pink fluffy dress caused me extreme social anxiety. I joined Toastmasters 3 years ago. I enjoyed their demeanor, their laughter, and even the joke about their mistakes. Many of us are glossophobic, fearing brain freeze whenever we address a crowd. Wikipedia claims 73% of us suffer this extreme anxiety. I was paralyzed. The great philosopher and comedian Jerry Seinfeld once stated that the average person would rather be in a casket than do the eulogy. That's quite a choice. Perhaps you or a friend is afraid of elevators, spiders, or God forbid, clowns. These fears are preventing you from achieving your secret dreams. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "You must do what you think you cannot do." Toastmaster. I am now loving pink.
We will take a moment of silence for our evaluator to complete his evaluation. And that is 1 minute. Elle? Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, and you have the evaluation for me?
I actually don't. What do you want me to watch for? Is there anything you want me to watch for?
Yeah, well, this is speech 2, so it's following feedback. There are a couple things that they mentioned. Specifically, she suggested that I display a copy of my book and that I display the word confluential in the background. So other than that, that's all the feedback that she had for me.
Okay.
So we're gonna do just that.
Awesome.
It'll take me just a moment to get this.
Hi, Elle. I meant to tell you hello a while back, a few meetings ago. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
So y'all can see that, right?
Yes,
And is it facing correctly for
Yes.
you?
yes, we can see it correctly.
Yes, perfect.
Because from here, it's backwards. So,
No, we can read it.
okay, great. Michelle, can you keep time for me? And do you have some kind of something red, yellow, and green? You're muted, dear. That's perfect. Thank you. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Leadership, the most maligned word in the English language. One of my favorite comedians and philosophers, Groucho Marx, once said, out of 1,000 men, only one is a leader of men. The other 999 follow women. So where are all those leaders? I can tell you that I learned command at a very young age. I learned it from my father, who was ex-military. He'd been in the Marine Corps prior to World War II, and he had great stories about starched collars and all sorts of other things. And he'd also been in the Navy during World War II. He and my mom both had wonderful stories about leaders of men in the military. I came out of, or I was in college, and I said to my mom, I don't want to be a teacher. I'd like to be a nurse, but you're telling me I need to be a doctor, and I don't want to do that. And I don't want to be a secretary. I want to lead. What can I do? And my dad said, there's always the military. I did my research, and I found a program between my junior year and senior year in college. And it was interesting. I found it for both the Army and the Navy. My dad had been Navy. However, the Navy program was 16 weeks long. The Army program was only 8. Other than that, the programs were pretty much the same. So I said to my dad, what do I do? What's best? Well, he always believed in the banker's T. You put the good things on one side and the bad things on the other, and you make your decision. Well, we did. And it came down to, you can't, if you don't like the program and you did the Navy one, you'd waste 16 weeks. Whereas if you did the Army one and you didn't like it, you'd only waste 8 weeks. So guess which one I chose? I chose the Army. Yes. Which of course upset my dad to no end, but he went along with the program. I loved it. I had so much fun. It was structured, it was organized, there was strategy. I could get along with the program. It was amazing. When I got home, I went to my recruiter and I said, sign me up for the student officer program. I'm going to do that. What that did was put me through my senior year in college as a corporal in the Army. I was literally on active duty. I had a green card and I didn't have to do a thing. All I had to do was show up. My Air Force ROTC people were extremely angry because they had to go to class, they had to march, they had to do calisthenics and all sorts of other things, and they didn't get paid. I got paid $350 a month to do nothing. I loved it. But the best thing was my January term was in Europe, and we got to Munich. We studied the economic institutions of Europe, and in Munich, we studied the PX system. Huge in Munich. Afterwards, the guy who was teaching us asked if we had any questions, and I raised my hand and I said, sir, how do we get to the PX? And it was like he went, oh, little girl, you can't do that. I said, well, what would it take for me to be able to get into the PX? He said, well, you have to have a green card, or you'd have to have a dependent card or something like that. Pulled out my card and held it up, and I said, you mean like this? And he says, it's 3 blocks that way and 2 blocks that way. I went in and I cashed checks for all of my colleagues so that we had money when we went to Paris to spend. Afterwards, I went through the WAC Officer Basic Program in Anniston, Alabama, the armpit of the United States, I'm sorry. Was stationed at Fort Devens, Massachusetts, where I got a chance to learn my speaking skills by recruiting high school seniors into the military. Recognize this was during Vietnam, when it wasn't popular to be in the military. I then went back to Fort McClellan, where I met my husband. He was one of 5 single male officers on post of 5,000 women, and the rest is history. So how did I get to confluential leadership? Well, as you can see, I learned command honestly. I could project my voice across a parade field. Company, 10, hot! Come left, turn. They could hear me all the way across, and we literally had the entire parade field. 5 divisions, 4 battalions, 5 companies in each battalion, 30 women per company, plus cadre. A lot of women, to say the least. So command, I'm used to. I know how to give orders. I have organization. I have structure. I have strategy. And then I went into entrepreneurship, and it doesn't work. Independent contractors don't like to be told what to do, especially in a commanding voice. My clients were one and done and ran to the hills. My staff would disappear in the night, and I'd never know where they went. So I created a whole new leadership style called confluential. It's the blending of the masculine command with the feminine influence. So you still have the structure and strategy with the creativity, the community, and the collaboration. She leads, he follows. It's a beautiful dance that when they do it correctly, it looks like the Argentine tango, which is just one of my favorite dances as you watch the man and the woman moving in synchronicity. And for all of that, I wrote, no one stood up when I entered the room. One woman's journey from command to true leadership. Madam Toastmaster. Let's give Elle 1 minute on the timer to complete her evaluation. Thank you, Michelle.
Okay, 1 minute has expired.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Now, we each of the evaluators will give us a 3-minute evaluation, and I can go ahead and time them. I think, unless my phone runs out of juice. So
I can do it. I mean, I already have my phone up, Linda. I can do it.
Okay, okay.
So 3 minutes each, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Aksha, would you like to start with the evaluation on Sally's presentation?
Sure.
And can you see Michelle?
Yes, I can see.
Great, thank you.
Toastmaster Sally. Anything is possible with little sunshine and little pink. Today, you not only overcame that pink sausage idea, but also wore the pink at the end, which was a wonderful story, which I enjoyed a lot. Let me share with you 2 aspects of your story that I loved and would try to recollect later on once I leave this meeting. At the start, the variety of language which you used to paint a visual picture made me feel that I should be there on that horse riding through the sunset. The second, the vocal variety which you had while sharing your mom's voice, that reminded me of my mother's voice that I am going to hear. I just got attentive. Apart from that, I also loved how you poured different voice modulations when you were frustrated, emotional, excited during the party at the house where you had gone for Christmas tea party. The conclusion, wherein you wore the pink and removed your coat, that looped back to the title and reminded us again the message of your story. Now, coming forward to certain recommendations, which I feel can improve your story and highlight it more and be more impactful, are these. I would have loved if you could have seen me in the camera, or to the eyes contact would have been made. I found you seeing down. Maybe you might be referring notes. That's fine. But at least you could have in between given me the eye contact so that I feel connected with you. Second, the research which you presented, which was Wikipedia and few prominent personalities like Eleanor Roosevelt and the comedian whose quotes you shared. I would have loved if you would have used those quotes when you added humor and related to make credibility to those points. The third aspect which I feel you could have incorporated was your hand gestures. I could not see them. I did notice when you explained the grandness of the house, you could have explained the horse riding, you could have given me the dead snake expression and shown your hand gestures. That would have added a tinge of exciting element to your story. Overall, Toastmaster Sally, I enjoyed your story. And thank you for reminding me that anything is possible with little sunshine and little pain. One can overcome their fears like you did of the claustrophobia of facing an audience while you removed the coat with the pink dress, which you felt made you look like pink sausage. Hoping to hear more exciting stories from you and looking forward to see you as a speaker who wonders their audience with her stories. Back to you, Toastmaster Linda.
Thank you. Akash, is there a way for you to get that evaluation to Sally, or get it to me and I'll get it to Sally?
Yeah, I will email it to Sally. I already got the contact.
You have her. Okay, great. Thank you. Elle,
I'm here. Yes. Are you ready for me? For
I
my
think so.
evaluation?
We lost Michelle.
Awesome.
Michelle.
I see Michelle.
Oh, there you are. Okay. No, it's
Uh-huh.
Kasha. Okay.
So Michelle is still a timer?
Yes, Michelle is your timer.
Okay, great. So first of all, Linda, congratulations on meeting all the requirements and all the, according to the previous one. So you had the display, you had the book, and I remember we did talk about this book. Congratulations. I remember we met for coffee and we discussed the book that you were working on. So I'm so excited for you that this is, it's out now so people can read it. Loved how, I'm going to use the sandwich method, by the way, but I loved how you started with a great quote. So you started the whole speech with a quote, and then you shared your story. You shared, you were saying, I don't want to be secretary, I want to lead. And then you gave us everything in the order and great details, Army versus Navy, how and why you chose the Army, why your dad was upset, but it was okay. Munich PX system, even the number of women, right? And the women were the majority. So I loved all of those details that kind of, I want to read the book. I want to find out how it is. I've never been in the Army, so I don't know how it is. So it's so interesting for me. The whole confluential leadership idea and the concept, you explained it to us what that means. Blending of masculine with feminine. And then the way you repeated the exact phrase that it is spoken in the Army. I love that. It's let me check the time. It's interesting because I've never been there. So you actually had the voice, the commanding voice. You had the facial features. Overall, your confidence is amazing. You're such a confident speaker. And I feel like people want to listen to you. And all the information. I think what I want to know, if you would add how I can get the book, and what I can learn from it for me personally, from that book as well, maybe 2-3 things. But overall, congratulations, Linda. I loved your analogy with Argentinian tango. I love dancing. so when you said that, I love that analogy, and the way that you said it's a beautiful dance. So absolutely a great analogy, and it sparked in me right away, because I love dancing and I go to dance, so it made total sense. But again, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight. Loved it. Thank you, Linda. Back to you.
Thank you. Elle, you can get it on Amazon.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. And then how can should I email you, or should I get I'm not at home right now, should I get the evaluation form?
If you could, yeah. It's evaluation and feedback speech 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or do you want me to
Speech 2,
send it
okay.
to you?
If you can, that would be
can.
awesome.
Yeah,
so
I'll
I
send
can
it to
just
you.
fill it in, and okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So we are done with that. We have technically no time because they wanted us back at 7:45. So we're going to skip table topics, if that's all right.
I want you to do the tango again. That was great. That's great, Linda. That's good.
Thank you. So is it okay if we don't do table topics and we go back to the room?
Fine.
Okay, good enough. Then
Sure.
Yeah.
I will, lower right-hand corner, leave the room, and we will see you in the main room.